All right. Whoa. Good Friday morning, everybody. How's everyone doing? All right. You can feel the fall air is hitting us right now. Just walk outside for a little bit. It feels a lot better than it did a month ago. It's really warm out. So yeah, we're heading in that direction. Fall, then unfortunately winter will be here. But anyway, this morning is Friday, October 7th, 2022, and this is your Friday morning meeting. Up front with me this morning, I have Steve Field. Steve's been here 25 plus years, right? Long time. So great to have Steve up here with us. He's our safety director here at Prime. I'm Dave White, and I'm in the safety department, work with Steve. And there's a bunch of us in the safety department. And but I'm just fortunate enough to give me the mic. So I could always change, couldn't it? You never know around here. So anyway, we are queued in too with all of our terminals, both of them, Salt Lake and Pittston. So this morning, let's start out in Pittston, Pennsylvania. Do we have Lisa or Bill up there?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Nice to see you back, Lisa. Last week we had Bill, and good to see you up there. How's everything going?
Everything is great. I have about 10 of my closest friends here today. So we're going to have a great meeting here.
Awesome. Like seeing that red up there. You all look pretty well.
We want to make sure that we represent, right? Remember, everybody deployed.
So what's going on in Pittston this week? Any big updates?
We had a big top of the shop for our mechanics this past week, and our class, they said around 21 we had in class today or this week. So we're just trucking along. That's
nice. How's the weather going up there? You getting a little bit cooler as well?
It is. We're definitely getting fall-like weather. We're going to hit around 67 today. So we're in the 50s right now, high 50s.
There we go. It's that time of year. If you have any questions, Lisa, holler at us. We'll get you on the mic. Love to hear from you.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's go out the other direction. Salt Lake City, Utah. Do we have Mr. Troy Rich?
Good morning from Salt Lake City. How are you?
We are well. How about yourself?
We're doing fantastic in Salt Lake. It's 45 degrees and gorgeous out here. So.
And you're in your t-shirt and shorts. I love it, Troy.
You bet, yeah, man. Yeah, no, it doesn't get too cold out in Utah. It's just a perfect place to live. We even in the wintertime, we don't get below the zeros or anything like you guys get. So it's just nice and beautiful out here.
Well, good deal. What's going on in Salt Lake today?
We got a good crowd here. We got a bunch of people here, having breakfast on Prime today. And, where everybody's eating and ready for this meeting. That rhymed, didn't it?
Good deal. We're going to have, I think we're going to get Brian Singleton on here in a little bit after we talk some safety. So be interested in listening to him. So, okay. If you have any questions, comments, Troy, make sure you let us know. I'd love to get you back on.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Back here in Springfield. Good Friday morning, everyone. That's a little bit better, Steve. So welcome to the Friday morning meeting again, and glad to have you. Let's give a big round of applause to our folks in the cafeteria serving up all that hot breakfast. Give them a big round. Yeah, let's hear it. If you haven't received your breakfast this morning, make sure you pick one up. Get one over there. You can order what you want, and get your bellies full, and hopefully keep your eyes awake. Hopefully we'll keep you somewhat entertained here this morning. So anyway, we've got a lot of information to cover. First, I'd like to do, though, is all of our new associates are here. If you could please stand and be recognized. This is your first week of orientation. Love to give you a round of applause. So if you're new here to Prime this week, please stand up. All right, welcome aboard and welcome to our family. And you're coming into a great business. There's no doubt about it. Trucking is extremely busy. We continue to stay busy, but it can be a very dangerous job as well. So make sure you realize that. And you'll be going out with some experienced trainers, learning, majority of you. Those of you that are A seats, coming in with experience, We do things a little bit different here, Prime, so make sure you understand that. Make sure you understand what we look at on safety. It's more than just accidents and tickets. We dig a lot further down and we watch your driving and monitor it, because ultimately at the end of the day, safety is number one here. So, but besides that, I'm going to throw it over to Steve and let you give a few comments. What do you got?
Dave. Morning, Dave.
Morning.
You know, I'd also like to extend my welcome to the new folks and the folks that have been here for a while. I always like this time of year for the PSDs, for the new folks, because you're going to get some valuable training as we head into winter. You know, there are times when people join the program that maybe don't get the opportunity for that winter driving. So this is a real good time for our new folks. Don't be afraid, but be cautious out there. As Dave said, it can be a dangerous profession. We're going to give you the best training we can, the best equipment that we can, and the best support. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to each of you out there. And, you know, I know it is challenging out there. There may be times you think you can't do it, but you really can. And, you know, and trust me, the years go by fast, and you get out there and you complete the training and you get your first truck, and, you know, maybe you start giving back to the industry by training new drivers next year, the year after or something, or then the years go by and before you know it, you're like some of our folks over at this table with 1, 2, 3 million safe miles here at Prime. So again, welcome. We appreciate you being here. If there's anything we can do for you, just let us know. We've got some good speakers today, so I won't ramble on too much, but again, I do welcome you and thank you for being here.
All right, let's look at some of our inspections this week. We had 171 inspections, Steve. That's quite a few. 171, 117 of those were clean. So 68% clean rate. So give yourself a round of applause. That's great. Yes. Wanted to cover real quickly on inspections. You know, just your proper, you know, what to do at an inspection site if you're getting inspected. Some of you have never been inspected, never had a DOT inspection, and you'll go through one. And just remember, you know, the officers, they're doing their job. They have what they have to look at, and you do too as well. And so when you get there and you get pulled in, make sure you're ready to go. Make sure you're prepared. You know, you have your CDL. I'd even carry the medical card, even though, quote, it's on file with your state. It should be on your license as well, but have that with you just in case. Make sure you know your tractor registration is, trailer registration. Make sure you have all the, you know, insurance. You know that permit book inside and out. My preferred method is if the officer says, where's your permit book? You pull it out and you hand him the information. If they want to see the permit book, give them the permit book, let them have it. But make sure that information is in there, because that's what they're searching for. They want to see that insurance, make sure everything's legal and all the documentation is there. Biggest thing too is try to be as calm as you can. I know it's understandable. You're going to be nervous when you have an officer stand there with a badge and gun looking at you. We all tend to get a little bit nervous no matter what the situation is, but just remember they're doing their job, and you know, the vast majority of them out there on the highway, they really do respect all of you that do your job, because it's a tough job you have, being away from home, picking up on time, delivering on time, doing that safely, dealing with the four-wheelers, the motorcycles, the other trucks out there on the highway. It is a tough job, there's no doubt about it, and they recognize that. But in the same sense, you know, make sure you act professional to them. And if you have a question, you know, if they write you for a violation and you don't understand, make sure you ask them. So, sir, can you show me that violation? You show me where that light's burn out, if you have a light burn out, things like that, because they'll show you. They should be able to point it out and say, this is what needs to be fixed. And then you'll understand better as well. But being prepared, making sure your equipment's prepared, is ready. You got all, you know, you've been checking your lights, you've been doing pre-trips, post-trips, you know, and fixing anything that may be broken. That's part of that, getting that clean inspection. And that's what we're always shooting for every week.
Can I steal one of your gift cards?
Go for it.
All right. Yeah, sometimes we mess up on an inspection. We do great. Everything looks good. But then at the very end, the officer finds one violation. So who's ever going to be first with this gets this gift card that Dave has. What's the duty status you should be in during the inspection? Okay, on duty. I think the guy with the green T-shirt, I just happened to be looking there, Dave. So we'll give it to him. I know you guys got it up here too. So, you know, that is important. And you know, I want to echo what Dave said about being prepared for the inspection. All the things that he mentioned. Let me also throw out knowing where your paper logbook is in the event that your OmniTrax goes down. Know how to pull up the instruction manual. It's kind of embarrassing when we can't do that, and then the officer puts on the inspection instructed driver how to pull up instruction manual, because it's right inside the OmniTrax. The folks down in the log department can help you with that. We do have a class every Monday through Friday in the afternoon that covers everything about logs. I'd say if you're hanging around and you got a few minutes, go on down to the plaza and take that class and refresh your memory, because we can always do better with logs. We're not over hours necessarily. We're just missing a few of the small things, the log book, not certifying our logs each day, not having the trailer number in, not having the load number in. We try to automate that as much as we can, but sometimes it does take a little driver action there to get that in. So if you have the chance, hit that log class down in the plaza.
And don't forget too, when you're delivering or you're picking up, you need to show some on-duty time. Can't go straight from driving to off-duty or to sleeper berth. You need to show when you're at the customer, you've got a little bit of on-duty time showing what you're doing if you're picking up or you're delivering, because you got to take bills in, you got to deal with the customer a little bit still. So, and they're looking for that too as well. So don't forget that end of it. And like Steve said, the small things, that's where we get hit sometimes. And that's a vast majority on the hours of service is the small things. It's not running over hours. It's, the paper logbook things. And those are all violations. They count against you and they count against us as a carrier. So let's clean that up. We can get more clean ones and we can get that number over 70%, which we've been at before. So,
we have been.
No doubt. So let's move into some safety. What do you want to talk about first? Winter driving or?
Go winter driving, Dave.
Okay, let's go for it.
Okay. You want to start?
Well, go ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
All right.
I'll
Let
let
me
you
do
go.
one thing too, because I did forget something and talking to the new folks about winter coming up and going through your training right there. My suggestion is don't be in a hurry to upgrade this winter. I know what your goal is. It's everyone's goal. I want to get my own truck. And I understand that. That's what most people want to do, either as a lease operator, as a company driver. But, there's some unique dynamics going on as we get towards the end of the year. One of them is the weather. Number two is the holidays, and freight can fluctuate on the holidays. And, just my thought is, and I'll throw it out to you to think about is, if you're in late November, early December, you're getting along well with your trainer, maybe a thought is just stay with that trainer through the holidays, get a little bit more winter driving under your belt, get through the holidays where the freight can fluctuate a little bit and come out on the other side ready to go. So I'm just throwing that out there, that don't be in a hurry to upgrade this winter. There'll be plenty of opportunity for you to upgrade as we go through the winter. And I think it might put you in a stronger position when you go out there on your own for the first time.
And to piggyback on what Steve said, yeah, and I've talked to drivers. Well, I'm from North Dakota. I'm from Minnesota. I'm from New York. I know how to drive on snow and ice. Well, snow and ice driving is different in a tractor trailer than it is in a car. And, or a 4-wheel drive pickup, it's totally different. So, yeah, don't be afraid. Stay out there with that trainer and continue getting that knowledge, because that'll make you a safer, better driver overall. And you'll feel a lot more comfortable in those conditions come when you have more experience underneath your belt. So let's talk a little winter weather. So, we're heading into that time of year. Road conditions are going to be changing. Weather's going to be changing. Usually happens out west, happens pretty quickly sometimes. And so I got a couple gift cards, and I just need one answer from per person for a winner. So when the road conditions change, what are some clues that tell you that the road conditions are changing? Who can tell me? Snow. Okay. How about you back there in the orange shirt? Okay, Bill, hand him the card. I might go a little bit further with that one. Hand him a microphone.
Water spray.
Okay, I heard you water spray. So what do you mean by that? Water spray. What's water with it?
When a vehicle's driving down a road, there'll be water spray off the tires.
And when it goes cold, what happens?
When ice is on the roadway, there won't be any moisture on the road for the water to spray off the tires.
There you go. Yeah, you lose that water from coming up off the road. Good clue right there. How about Julie right there? Julie, what's one?
Well, I just got a comment on the road spray, because a lot of times in the afternoon, you might have a layer of ice that formed overnight, and then the sun comes up in the morning, you get a layer of water on top of that ice, and you still have road spray and you're still on ice.
That's true. You have to be careful no matter what. You need to be monitoring the temperatures, isn't that right? So if it's cold, if it's in the 20s overnight and you wake up, chances are if there's anything out there, even if it looks like water, it's going to be ice underneath it. So pay attention to that as well. That gentleman right there, yeah, let's go with him.
Ice in the mirrors.
Ice in the mirrors?
Your mirror.
There you go.
You watch for that.
Or your CB antenna maybe, or whatever you may have. Yeah, if you see ice forming on that, you're going down the road, good chance road conditions are changing. You want to take that back to that gentleman, Steve? Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, you already go.
Oh, okay. Next. You don't have any? Anybody else? Let that gentleman way back there in the back.
Yes, sir. Whenever you start seeing fog on the side of the road,
Okay, what's fog got to do with it? A little bit more.
because that's going to be a little bit of condensation that's going to start easing over the road. And then if it's a freezing fog, then you're going to have frozen areas where you go as you're going down the road.
That is true, very much. So yes, watching for that fog, the condensation early mornings in. Once again, that temperature is hovering around 30, 32, maybe even upper 20s. You can get it and you have an issue. Last one right here. This gentleman in the black shirt. I got one more card left.
Visibility,
Okay, go ahead and expand on that. What do you mean?
fog, heavy snow, anything that impairs your distance.
There you go. Yep, that can all make a difference. Here you go, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for who participated. And, the biggest thing is picking up on those clues. And sometimes those clues, it just comes from experience. Some of you have already had that, like Julie and Bill and, a number of you over at this table, got all of our veterans here. Those guys and gals, they've been through it year in, year out. They know what to look for. Some of you don't, and you'll get accustomed to it. You'll know what to start looking for. And biggest thing I can tell you is when the weather conditions start changing, get rid of your cruise control and get rid of your Jake brakes. Just yesterday or 2 days ago, we had a gentleman, 21 years here at Prime. He's a 3 million mile safe driver, and he happened to just jackknife his truck. He was just getting on some wet roads. It just started misting. He had his cruise control on, and he even admitted, Dave, I forgot. I had my cruise on. And he said, next thing you know, I went into a turn, and there went my tires, my drive tires started kicking out. He goes, I lost control. Luckily, he wasn't injured. Luckily, his truck's not too badly damaged, but he's going to have a deductible on his tractor. He's going to have a deductible on his trailer. He got hit with a preventable accident, so he'll have to sit out a year before he can get another year of safe driving underneath his belt. And, he didn't get a ticket. Officer was nice, let him out, but he didn't have a record bill. There's a lot of cost involved and a lot of cost on our end too as a carrier because he's got a load on. So now we may have a cargo claim coming up. Got a customer that's going to wonder what happened. And, our customers are really good nowadays with the safety. And, when they have an accident, many times, first thing they ask is the driver okay? And that's awesome to hear that. But in the same sense, they're expecting, that their freight to be delivered damage-free, claim-free, safely, all in one piece. So now we'll have to deal with that end of it as well as working with the customer. So, 21 years, he had a lot of experience. He even admitted I was a little complacent, and that's what got me. And so when you've been here at Prime, we want you to take PSC class once a year. And the best time to have it, in my opinion, is July, August, September, because what we teach in PSC is winter driving. And it just reminds you, hey, we got the winter coming up. Make sure you drive safely, put you through some scenarios on the simulators at all three of our locations, Salt Lake, Pittston, and Springfield. And just puts that reminder back in your head again, hey, we're out of summer, we're out of spring, time to start preparing for winter. And that's where we're at today. So anything you want to add?
Maybe I'll close out the winter segment there. As we're heading into winter, we're going to be talking about it continually. We appreciate the feedback from the drivers this morning. A lot of good information, but like we talked about a few minutes ago, at the end of the day, it comes to you sitting in the seat, deciding that the conditions are such that it's just not worth me getting hurt out here or hurting someone in the motoring public. There is no shame in finding a safe place to park, contacting your fleet manager so we can contact the customer and we'll be okay. We just don't want anyone to get hurt out there this winter at all. So take all that information to heart. We'll be talking about it all the way till spring comes around, and we're going to get through this together. I think we got some good speakers today, don't we?
We do, no doubt.
Hey.
Who's our first one up on the list?
I'll tell you. Okay. Our first speaker is going to be Brian Singleton out in Salt Lake City. He's been working kind of with the yard we have there in Denver. And I know a lot of times we get these questions about, when are you going to build a terminal here? When are you going to build a terminal here? And, there's a lot that goes into that. We hear you. We know that you want a terminal in Atlanta. You want one in Dallas, maybe something different in Florida. But these are major undertakings, both with the local governments and getting the authority and finding the land. I was lucky enough last Friday to go up to our new facility in Manuka. It's beautiful. It's got fantastic parking up there, but I think that was a 2-year project to get that from start to finish, and terminals take a while. So I think we've got Brian Singleton here. Brian, are you with us?
Yes, sir. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Brian. Can you go ahead?
Go ahead.
Brian, can you
you
just
hear me
kind of
okay?
tell us what's going on in Denver? And, you know, a lot of folks have been asking and you've been involved in that. So where do we stand in Denver?
Well, as of this past week, you know, I've been over there all week looking at properties and such. Starting October 24th, we will no longer have access to our current yard. In the meantime, we're negotiating a piece of land across 76 on the south side of 76. Be the same exit. Everything is RTCD in right now, with some secure parking. We will also have some personal vehicle parking there. You just need to work that out with your fleet manager. But as far as October 24th goes, we will not have parking. We will not have any access whatsoever to the current facility. As far as personal vehicles, one note on that: if you still have a personal vehicle at RTC, the current place right now, you need to get with your fleet manager ASAP. Let him know you're planning to get that out of there. We have about 4 or 5 that I don't know who they belong to, and next week I'm going to tow them. So I have to get them out of there. So if you have one there, please get with your fleet manager ASAP. And then we'll update everyone with regards to where the new location will be to drop your freight or move your personal vehicle to, that type of thing. As far as the future goes, I have been looking at current properties throughout, you know, the Denver area, and have been for the last couple of years, actually. We're just still looking. I looked at one earlier this week that looked somewhat promising. So we're kind of working out some details there. It's out 76, about 15 miles. Look like it may work really well. So we are constantly looking for a new place for everyone to use in Denver. I've had a ton of feedback from our drivers that love that facility, that use it a lot. And, you know, we know that. We're hearing you, just like Steve said. We know you want a terminal there. We know you use it a lot. And we plan on building on that and finding you something that you can have access to there in the future. So, but other than that, Steve, if anybody has questions, that's really all I got. If anybody has questions, let me know. You know, I'm here at my desk all day, usually every day. So if you're in Salt Lake, stop by, say hi. If you had any questions with anything, let me know.
We sure will, Brian. Appreciate you joining us today with that information. You know, one thing I didn't mention about Manuka was the parking up there. And that's a lot of the focus when we build a facility. It's just south of Chicago, just a little southwest. And it's just a great location for drivers to lay up and take their break there, as opposed to getting stuck in traffic or going into Chicago and not being able to find a place to park. So when we build a facility, we build it right. And those locations that I talked about, Atlanta, Dallas, Denver, when we do something, it'll be done right, and you'll be proud of it, just as we are.
Great part of trip planning right there. I remember back in the years when you drove too, going through Chicago was just crazy. And now you can hold up, stop at Manuka, take a couple hour break, wait for that traffic to settle down a little bit, then shoot on through. So
absolutely. Going to go ahead and introduce our next speaker. You know, we're kind of excited about something we're going to do. I'm not going to steal any of his thunder, but going to ask Shaun Ryker to come up. Shaun oversees our payroll department and also our permits and TWIC department. And what we're going to talk about, or what Shaun's going to talk about, kind of falls under permits. So I won't steal your thunder today like I did yesterday.
Yeah, you're pretty good at that, man.
Good morning, Shaun.
Good morning. Thank you. As you said, my name is Shaun Ryker, and part of our responsibility to you guys out there is to try to help you guys with tools when you're on the road, because it's difficult. So we're always kind of looking at what's out there compared to what we currently have. And the system we're going to start testing is called Drivewyze. Just quick show of hands. Anybody? So someone's familiar with it. Okay. If you guys are familiar with it already, I would like to talk to you guys after the meeting. I'll be over here. But just in general, kind of explain what's happening and why it's happening. So and they came to us a while ago. We looked at it. It really wasn't quite as robust as we wanted it to be. Made some changes in it. Some of the changes on the safety side of it, and I'll cover those here in just a minute with you guys. But it seems like a product that we really want to test, look at, see how it works. So, you know, it's going to be a situation where you're going to have a pre-pass in there, and you're going to have a Drivewyze on your OmniTracks. And this is going to be for company tractors, is who's going to test this. And we'll send some information. I'll cover that. But company tractors, you'll get on your OmniTracks, you'll end up seeing some alerts on there. And there's alerts that are bypass alerts, and there's going to be safety alerts. So first we'll talk about the bypass alerts. And this is going to be for any bypass station at all. And right now, I believe Prepass has 450 bypass locations. Drivewyze has 550 fixed locations. another 240, I believe, mobile locations. So the coverage is a little bit better. It's a little bit different, but it's a little bit better overall for bypass opportunities for you guys. So that's why we're looking at it, not only the safety side of it, but on the bypass side of it, give you more opportunities. So you pull up to any station, whether if it's a Drivewyze one, as you pull up 2 miles ahead of time, you're going to get an alert on your OmniTrax, pops up, says scale in 2 miles. Well, that's an alert to you guys to say, well, now I know there's something, right? If you're in the wrong lane, get ready because you know it's coming, right? If it's blue on top, it'll tell you it's a Drivewyze site. If it's not, it says not accepted Drivewyze site. So at that point, you know it's going to be a pre-pass site. It still tells you it's coming, right? So that's nice for you guys. It'll tell you about every single scale. And we've had some situations where the scales, there's one in Kansas and some other places where they're app only. So when you try to go through them, they don't have the hardware for it. So we end up in some sticky situations on those. That'll tell you about all of those. So during the test, I'll tell you guys on the company tractors, you're going to get the alerts, but you're going to follow your pre-pass because you can't run 2 systems at the same time. So that's why this is a test. I want your feedback about this 2 miles, and then at 1 mile, it gives you the same alert. And then as you get closer, it tells you a direction, right? It'll tell you to pull in, bypass, whatever. Whatever your Drivewyze says right now on a company tractor, you will not listen to it. You will use your pre-pass because we have to only have one system that actually functions in there. So it's a mirrored system is what it basically boils down to. So during the test, you're going to see all those alerts. You're going to know 2 miles out, 1 mile out, and then what it tells you to do at that point. So the bypass side of it's pretty easy, right? That's pretty straightforward. The safety side of it, this is the side that's going to be really interesting. We spent, 10 minutes or so on winter driving here. So it has alerts that tell you guys about certain things that are upcoming. And I don't have them memorized because it's new to me also, but it's going to tell you guys about sharp curves. I think there's 1,500 or so of these alerts it has programmed in there already. Sharp curves, low bridges, steep grades, congestion. It tells you real-time congestion ahead of you to alert you guys so you don't pop over a hill and everyone's stopped. It also has weather alerts I was just talking about. So it also tells you whenever the weather alerts are upcoming. So whether you're popping over a hill and it's ice or blizzard up ahead, thunderstorms, things like that, it tells you proximity relevant, all of those things. So that's something I know Steve and that team is really excited about looking at on that side of it to see what can it do for us. And let's see, how are we going to roll it out? So we're still probably a week or two away from actually doing anything with this yet. I'm bringing it up to you guys. So any questions you have, you can kind of come to me ahead of time with, but it should be pretty easy. I've got a video and some documentation that we're going to supply for all of our company tractors. Now it's going to work. We're going to send a message out to you guys and then a notice on the app. The app will have a link to the video, good video, walks you through exactly how it all happens, and the documentation for it. And then myself, you can ask me questions, or our permits team sits down in the plaza. They'll know about it also. You don't have to turn anything on. You don't have to do anything. It'll all be turned on for you. We'll give you the date for it. And then I don't know how exactly long it'll last. It lasts long enough for us to get good data, right? So anywhere between 2 and 4 weeks is how long we'll test it. And then we will evaluate the bypasses. And what I would expect from you guys, if you have a strong opinion, hey, this is really great, or this is not great for whatever reason, that's what I would need from our company tractors on there. So any questions about it right now?
You know, we are really excited about trying this. As Shaun mentioned, they've really made some changes over the years. And I think getting those alerts right on your OmniTrax that there's an upcoming scale is going to be real neat. We're really excited about the alerts for a potential dangerous area, the congestion, and then the weather alerts. I believe they're tailored, aren't they, Shaun? It's not going to every truck. It's just going to those trucks in the area.
Proximity relevant, yes.
So we'll have tailored alerts for you when the weather is going to start turning bad up ahead. So as Shaun said, we really want to hear your feedback on this. I think we might be able to test it maybe up to 60 days. We'll see. They really want us as a customer, and we really want to know how well it's going to work.
Are we going to have anything else put on our windshield? I mean,
no, so we're a net negative at this point, right? So it works directly in the OmniTrax. So you would lose your black transponder. Now, I do want to make sure we understand, though, that this would not during the test, you're not going to lose your black transponder. But if we go this way, your transponder would go away. You would have one device, well, two, I guess, a sticker and your Easy Pass. So your toll side, your bypass side, though, would run all through your OmniTrax device.
Any other questions for Shaun? Shaun is going to hang around. You've also got your points of contact, John and Joy and Leanne down in the permits department in the plaza.
On the bypass side, is there still going to be a bypass charge with that if we're getting rid of the blue thing?
So, yeah, unfortunately, they do charge us for whichever it is. And I don't know what the price will be. That's part of the negotiation that we're looking at. The first thing I have to do is I have to make sure it's worth our time and your time. So that's why we're doing the trial for it. So I'll be over here after the meeting. Like you said, if you need me also, I'm downstairs at the Z building, back left corner if you need anything. Thanks, Steve.
Super. Thank you, Shaun. Appreciate you coming up this morning. You know, we really are really excited about this, and we do want to hear your feedback. And, you know, why'd you go to the company trucks? That's a lot of computer stuff, but it's really going to give us a better test just doing it on the company truck. So if you're a lease operator, don't feel you're being left out. It's just, you know, we did this intentionally, and it's going to be a good test for us. So
Can't wait to see the results. This is some neat information coming. So
it is. I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah,
Dave.
me too.
Looking good. Okay. Our next speaker, we don't have this happen too often, but our next speaker, this will be her third week in a row speaking. So I can see her over there. We've got Haylee from the Success Leasing. And 3 weeks ago, she was here and she kind of teased you. She said, hey, I'm going to make a big announcement next week. And she made that big announcement next week. So I've kind of been hearing things. So I asked Haylee and Chelsea to come back and kind of update us on what was the reaction. Are we getting any traction with their big announcement from last week? So welcome, ladies.
Hello. Thank you for having us. Good morning. I'm Haylee.
I'm Chelsea.
So we have brought back the lease purchase program. Very, very exciting. We have had a lot of orders, to say the least. Chelsea, where do you think we're at?
I think we're close to 200 if we're not over 200 at this point. So it's a great thing. We are so excited. We are so happy to do this for everybody. I will say last week, I think I said response time was about 24 to 48 hours. I was not expecting to have the influx of orders that we had all at once. I should have known, but now response time, anytime you send funds in or even just the placement of your order, we are working as hard as we can to get back to everybody as soon as we can, but also making sure that funds are applied to the right place, kind of making sure everything goes smoothly and together. So I would expect a few days, give us probably more than 24 to 48 hours, because right now I think we're at like 3 or 4 days at response time. So not too much past what I said last week, but it was a big number that came through. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update on a more realistic response when you do place an order.
Yeah, we're definitely working on getting all of those funds applied and getting your orders fully placed with the OEMs. I did want to mention, not to be the bearer of bad news, but we have had to shut off Peterbilt right now for ordering. There's just been so many orders, so we kind of need to just see where we're at. Unfortunately, we just don't get as many Peterbilt trucks here, and we've had a lot of people order them. We are hoping to put that back on the website soon. We really just need to filter through all the orders to see where we're at, to make sure we don't, promise you a truck that is not going to be there at the month that you want. I will go over really quickly. Remember, you have to be leasing for 3 months before you can order your truck. So come on in, do the standard lease first, then you can order your truck. You can do a lease purchase at that time. The down payment does start at $14,000. It is $5,000 down to it for us to initially order it with the OEM. That is part of the $14,000. So yeah, I think that's it. You guys have any questions? Oh, way in the back. Yes, sir.
So currently we can lease purchase Freightliners and you just shut off Peterbilt. So you're going to be bringing any other models into the lease purchase program?
Yes, there are some qualifications that go with that. Just kind of depends on what your tenure is for leasing and things like that. We don't fully have pricing for different models right now, but right now, really just Freightliners. We will be bringing in the Peterbilts again once we kind of know where we're at with that. All right. Have a great day. Thank you for all that you do. If you have any questions, feel free to come see us. And that's all. Have a great day.
Super. Thank you, ladies. And some of that information might be a little foreign to our new folks that are just starting lease purchase. So, just in a nutshell, one thing that's really neat about Prime, and I'll say unique, it gives you a lot of opportunities here. Whether you want to be a company driver, that's fine. Paid by the mile, we are cool with that. But most of our operators are lease operators, taking advantage of the market conditions out there. As rates go up, you get a pay raise each time there's a rate increase for a particular customer. And a lot of us folks have that entrepreneurial spirit, which is how Prime really came about. And they eventually get their own truck. They buy their truck through a lease purchase program. And though it's presently not available, but I think we'll get back to it, then maybe they buy a second or a third truck and actually build their own small trucking company. It's one of the unique things about Prime that we're proud of. So for our new folks, remember there's a lot of opportunity here that you may not find elsewhere. We truly want you to succeed. Those folks in Success Leasing, that is really just like dealing with I believe, with a dealership. They are really focused on making sure you succeed out there. I can hear them every day talking to drivers and suggesting different options for them, telling them what their benefits are as they increase their number of years with us. So, it's just a great program. So for our new folks, you're going to have a lot to learn, but, talk to drivers, talk to our experienced drivers, see what their experience has been with the lease, and did they go owner operator, and why did they make those decisions?
And they're going to stick around after the meeting too. So if anyone has questions, or you don't want to get on the mic, you just want to ask them one-on-one, feel free. They'll be standing over here after the meeting, and hit them up. They got all the answers. So
super. And I did forget one thing on the safety portion. October 20th and 21st, Heather from Cardinal Sleep will be up in Pittston. We're working real hard to get a sleep lab up there. I think once we get that sleep lab up and running, it'll make the upgrade process a lot easier and flow better for those that are going to be in the sleep program. So if you just remember that, if you need supplies or something and you find yourself in the Northeast, Heather will be up there the 20th and 21st of October.
We talked about winter, winter driving and all that. So, just as important on the winter side is the maintenance on the winter. So we're going to bring Justin Kaufman up. We got a winterization package Justin's going to hit on. He's going to talk about a couple other things, making sure your truck's prepared. So nice having you this morning.
Thank you very much, Dave. And yeah, winter's coming up. And, I just want to talk first of all about, okay, fabulous. First of all, about making sure our fuel is properly treated, and so I know we've been we've been talking quite a bit about this, but, we'll commonly run into issues where if you're fueling down south in Florida or in Texas, in the winter months, they may not always treat their fuel. They may not always sell winterized diesel. So you got to be careful about what you're buying and making sure that your fuel is adequately treated. And so, as far as fuel treatment, we sell Penray Power R Plus in all of our terminals. This is the place to buy it at our terminals. You can pick up, I think they're allowing 6 bottles in our plazas, but, one bottle of this, it's a little over $5, about $5.50, but it treats 250 gallons. So, you can get both tractor tanks, and make sure to hit that reefer fuel tank, because, as these trailers get dropped, we got to make sure we do these dropping hooks. We got to make sure that fuel is treated, and that reefer keeps on keeping the load at the right temperature, as it's dropped as well. So make sure that we're using fuel treatment. If you can't get this, you've ran out of this Penray Power R Plus, we recommend Power Service. Comes in a white bottle. You get it at most truck stops. It is going to cost quite a bit more than what we sell in our terminals. Now, I'll also talk a little bit about, thank you, Steve, 911. So this in the red bottle is if you do get gelled up, so if you get gelled up, you can dump this in your tanks and or contact Road Assist, and we'll send a road service out to either change fuel filters or get this in your fuel filters to get you ungelled. But that's what 911 is. We also sell this at all of our terminals as well in the plazas, and it's going to be a little over $10. Once again, a lot cheaper in many cases than what you'll find out there in the truck stops. So make sure that you have, at least 1 bottle of this on board, just in case you do happen to gel up, your truck starts stuttering on you. You can reach out to Road Assist. We can dump this in your tanks and hopefully get that fuel flowing again. So another thing about winter is that all of our shops or the majority of our shops offer a winterization package. And we have capacity right now in Pittston and Salt Lake City. And my nuke is coming on board to do this winterization package. But what we do is we'll do a bunk heater PM service. So we'll change out the screen, we'll check your batteries, we'll load test your batteries to make sure your batteries are good. And we'll check your coolant. And so, but this package is to kind of get you ready for winter. And if you haven't had that bunk heater turned on yet, and I'm sure you probably have, but if you haven't, make sure to get that turned on. It's important that once you add your anti-gel in there, that you run that bunk heater to get a little bit of that anti-gel sucked up into that fuel line of that heater, because the fuel line in the heater is super small going up to the heater. And so you want to make sure that that anti-gel is in that line so you don't have a problem if you're running your big bunk heater at night, in Wyoming or in Salt Lake City. So got to make sure that that fuel is flowing once again. But, and then also kind of another good thing about the winterization package is that, when we check these batteries, if we find a bad battery, it's going to be a lot cheaper to get that battery changed out in our terminals versus, being stuck somewhere out there on the road, or, you can't fire up your truck and you're having to have a truck stop, change it out for you or do a road call. So, we recommend that as well. Just kind of one last tidbit is, we sell some jumper cables over here in our company store. We recommend heavy duty jumper cables. So 2 to 4 gauge jumper cables. And, I'd make sure that you have a set of those as well, just in case you get to a spot where you can't get a reefer fired up. You're going to hook up to a trailer. You can hook up those jumper cables, wait an hour or so, let your truck charge your reefer battery, pop open the curbside reefer door. And, if you have questions about anything I've talked about, like you've never jump started a reefer unit or you've never primed a reefer unit, we offer a class called Pro Maintenance in our maintenance group. And it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 to 11, or actually strike that, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And, you can sign up through your fleet manager or through your road assist advisor. And we would love to show you hands-on how to do some of this stuff, just to get you ready and make sure that you're good to go. You can also see us. We'll all be kind of over here in the corner after the meeting as well. So,
hey, Justin, while you're up here, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
We had Hurricane Ida last week or so, and a lot of times maybe someone will go pick up a trailer that was down there during the storm and you notice you pick it up and it's sitting in a lot of water. Matter of fact, it's up on the wheels. You're able to get it out, but if you get it out, are you good to go then? Or
absolutely not. And that is a great point and question. Salt water is horrible for wheel ends. It's horrible for axles. And I mean, we've seen some, whenever Hurricane Sandy went through the Northeast, where water's entered that wheel bearing and, very quickly taken out that grease and that bearing. So, if you know or have knowledge of any of our equipment where the water level has been to a point that it could have even potentially get into an axle or got up to the hubcap of a trailer axle or in your drive axles, it's important to contact Road Assist. We'd much rather take a safe approach, be safe than sorry, and have that axle lube checked or have those wheel ends checked, and we'll take a look at any other equipment that may have been in that same area or in that same spot or in that same shipper. Same thing goes, sometimes shippers may want you to load down, where there's water standing in the bottom of a dock, and, that's once again something that you want to immediately contact, sales and dispatch about, and let's just say, hey, we can't do that. We can't have our equipment in water, standing water.
Super. Thank you, Justin. Yep. Any other questions for Justin? Okay. Appreciate you, Justin.
Hey, Steve, I think an important part here too to remember, and for all of our operators, make sure you have a relationship with your road assist advisor. You know who he or she is. Also, too, payroll person, extremely important. Along with your fleet manager, along with your log associate, make sure you know them real well, because if you have problems, they're great people to lean on and give them a call, and then you feel more comfortable telling them what's going on, what's happening, and maybe they can better understand the situation as well. So, got a question for Justin?
Justin, real quick, I get this question from a lot of my trainees, so if you could clarify for us. Is it possible to over-treat your fuel, put in too much anti-gel?
it's not going to hurt one bit to double it up. And, you know, and so I would much rather over treat than under treat and take, you know, if you're unsure about what was in the tank whenever you picked up the trailer, over treat it. So. Yeah.
Super. Thank you, Justin. Good question. You know, we're always super proud of our facilities here, our facilities around the country. We work very hard to keep them clean, keep them welcoming to people. And, you know, I think it really is kind of a neat point when we're able to bring customers in. And once they get to meet you guys face to face here and walk around our facilities, it's just unbelievable. And the last 2 weeks, we've been very fortunate. We've had customers in with us, spending some time with our sales folks. We don't have a customer with us this week, but we do have some customer information. So I'm going to ask Keith McCoy to come on up. Keith is our director of marketing. He and Jim Guthrie are going to come up and just talk about an award that our reefer division here picked up just very recently that we haven't had a chance to talk about. Gentlemen?
Yeah, a couple of weeks back, Jim, myself, and Steve were privileged to represent you guys at the Smithfield Farmland Carrier of the Year, our carrier conference up in Kansas City. And Jim went up and accepted this award on your behalf. Smithfield is 25 years or more with Prime. They've been with us forever, either in the Smithfield side or in the farmland side. And this is, I believe, the third year in a row we've got the Carrier of the Year award on that stuff. You can tell them a little bit about the quality of the freight and the quality of the customer that we talked about up there.
Yeah, well, you want to hold this for me? That's some heavy hardware. Yeah, pass that around. Take a look at it. Yeah, you know, Smithfield's one of our very best partners. We've been doing business for a long time. We do a lot of volume with them all over the country, and you know, they have you know, a lot of freight volume. They really embrace the shipper of choice model. You know, they really are interested in what they can do to be a better partner for all their carriers and all of you that are out there handling their freight on a daily basis. So it's certainly an honor to be recognized as a Carrier of the Year for such a great organization like Smithfield, and that's a reflection of each of you and the service you provide, which is so important to all these customers. So their big emphasis, and we've been talking about it quite a bit, is what we call on time in full, and making sure that we don't deliver early and don't deliver late to the receivers that are applicable to that standard. And you know, that service level that we provide is so critical to our rate structure and our freight volume structure. That, you know, the amount of freight volume we're able to get. So it's more important than ever. So, you know, I urge you all, whenever you're handling their freight or really any other customer's freight too, to please communicate proactively with your fleet manager about what the requirements are for the service on these loads. Always communicate immediately if there's any issues, delays, problems that are going to prevent you from, you know, from on-time delivery. So really more important now than ever, and you all do it at a really great rate on a daily basis. And so we just need to keep doing more of it and improving where we can as well. Yeah, so.
Okay, and they have some giveaways for you guys. There's a stack of $5 off coupons here. Everybody loves bacon, so grab you a coupon and take advantage of that. And there's a couple of other items over here, but I think we want to do some questions on this one. This one's a cooler with some stuff inside of that. Smithfield Farmland's largest production facilities in Tar Heel, North Carolina. On a daily basis, how many hogs do they process through Tar Heel, North Carolina? A number. 150,000. Too high, down. 50,000. Okay, got 50, got 25, somewhere in between here. 36,000 hogs per day are processed through that Tar Heel, North Carolina facility on average. Got a Smithfield Farmland die-cast truck here. What is the largest hog producing state in the U.S.? Correct. Good choice. Thank you all very much. Appreciate everything you guys do for us.
Oh, thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Keith. We've got a couple of minutes here, and, a lot of times the wheels can come off when you do this, but, that's part of the fun of these meetings. So, I want to see if we've had much of impact today, if we've had an effect. So,
there we go.
We can just go ahead and call on someone. I think she's saying, please don't look at me. Keep that young lady right next to you. Could you ask her to come up for just a minute? You're very brave to come up.
We're going to give you your own mic, too. Here you go.
Okay, just, give us 30 seconds of who you are, how you got here, what you were doing before you got here.
Oh, I see. I'm from Georgia.
Okay.
What I was doing before, I was at Delta Airlines.
Okay.
What was the other question?
And what brought you to Prime? Why did you decide to switch professions?
I already had my Class B CDL, so just wanted to change.
Okay, and are you in the PSD program now?
Yes.
Okay, when did you get here?
It was Sunday.
Sunday, okay,
Yeah.
so this is your first meeting you've been to.
Right.
A lot of information.
Lot.
Okay, if you just wanted to give us maybe 3 things you've taken out of this meeting, 3 points you heard, or, what can you give us? And I'm sorry, I apologize. Tell us your name. I'm sorry.
Oh, Dawn Marie.
Dawn Marie, okay,
Yeah.
Dawn Marie. Tell us 3 points that you've taken out of the meeting.
Just a lot of safety.
Safety.
Great career opportunities.
Career opportunities, good.
And that you all take care of your people.
We try to, and you take care of us.
Right.
You're out there seeing the customers every day. We're not out there. And, hopefully you did some research on us before you came to Prime. And
Yes.
we were your first choice.
No.
Oh dear. I told you the wheels could come off. I won't even ask. Well, we're going to make you decide that this is the place for you. And I hope 10 years from now, you're still here and you're a Million Mile recipient and you're doing everything you want to do for your family.
Right.
Okay, Dawn Marie, thanks for coming up. Appreciate you. Okay. It's always a little risky, but I'm not going to ask her what her first choice was, but we're going to make sure that that we are from now on your first choice. One thing we talked about is kind of that entrepreneurial spirit, get in there, get a truck, maybe get a second truck. And I said, it's kind of the spirit of Prime. And that literally is the way that Prime started. And, one of the neat things is 52 years later, we still have the gentleman that started this company. So I'm going to ask Robert Lowe to come up. Robert's our founder and president. And it's always an honor to have him here every Friday.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, one truck. See what can happen. You work hard, get lucky. I got lucky. I admit it. I want to welcome our new folks. It's really gratifying that you would choose Prime, maybe your second choice, but we're going to make it your first. We're going to make it your first. I promise you. Business is still good. We have a lot of our competitors are doing a lot of complaining and crying and, we just keep rolling along. And the reason we do that is because of that service we've talked about, getting those loads picked up and delivered safely and on time. That's really what it's all about. What makes that possible? You all do it. You do it. We don't do it. Steve's a great safety director, but he is driven. And I understand he was fair. I'm not going to say he's great, but he's fair. That's the rumor on the street. But now it's you all, and the very least we can do is thank you and show our appreciation. A lot of companies nowadays, it's popular, say, we love our drivers. And I would ask them, well, what are you doing for them? Do you have facilities like this? Do you do these events that we do, the other things that we do? Provide the opportunity to make the incomes that our folks are making here? I mean, who here is making some bank? Okay, we want you to make some bank. There is no sin in making bank. None at all. I mean, I always say it's hard to be too rich or too good looking. Anyway, folks.
Robert, as a veteran yourself, would you take the honor this morning?
I certainly would. Would all my fellow veterans stand up and be recognized, please? You served in the armed forces. That's great. That's great. I mean, whether you're a veteran or not, I dare say that the vast, vast majority of you are very patriotic. And it seems like it It's in the psyche, it's in the blood of truckers, particularly Prime, to appreciate and this country and the opportunities it provides, and to be true patriots. So I thank you for that shared belief. You know, I don't have a lot this morning. I didn't know I was going to get this kind of time. So if anyone has any questions or criticisms, I mean, I hope you make them softballs. Hey, Willie Bill.
How we doing, boss? Happy birthday again.
I'm doing good, thank you.
When you were a young man or a young boy, and you done something bad, what did Miss Vera do?
You know, she'd send me out to get a switch. She'd send me out to get a switch. So what I'd do is I'd try to find the flimsiest, weakest switch I could find. But sometimes she'd send me back. She said, I need something. I need like an oak branch. But she probably didn't do that enough. But anyway, thanks for that question. That's the softball. Hey, folks, we appreciate you, we respect you. We owe you that. And I thank you personally for being here. Yes, sir.
Are we going to get dispatched back into where they belong up there, or are they going to continue staying at home and doing it from the house? I mean, because this is getting terrible, getting them on the phone, trying to talk to them, trying to get things lined up. It's just a lot harder.
Jim Guthrie, he's right there. You can't get your fleet manager on the phone. That's a serious, serious problem. We expect him to be at least as good at home, if not a little bit better. And if we have someone that's falling behind, then they will be coming back in. This work from home thing, folks, is real. You know, I didn't design it that way. You certainly didn't design it that way. We might have different preferences, but I'm telling you, we have a lot of folks working from home that are, you know, making your lives easier and better and more profitable. And I don't want to run them off, run them to a competitor because we say, hey, you absolutely positively got to be in here, you know, 5.5, 6 days a week. You know, that's just the workforce. That's what we're dealing with out there. We want to be competitive for those brilliant minds, those really good, hardworking folks. We need them here. We need them there to help you and to help our customers. So right now, if you aren't getting that kind of service from your fleet manager, you see Jim. He'll take care of it. Any other questions? Okay, folks. Thank you. God bless you. And please be safe.